Q is putting them into another timeline, or he's changing things up. He put Picard into a scenario where he changed the sequence of events and then saw a new alternate timeline. And maybe that's what he's doing. He's doing some sort of experimentation with what if you and the Picard crew were living in some alternate divergent timeline? Or is he like just straight up jumping between the multiverse?
All right, let's talk about this Picard Season 2 teaser trailer. We start off with Picard at the Chateau, wearing
his
dressed like he's in X-Men Days of Future Past.
I'm telling you, black on black on black on black on black. He's like a...
I do think the costume and set design, though, of all of these stills, like I know it's in like really rapid pace, you know, because they don't really want us to figure anything out, look great. So like shouts to props and wardrobe.
I'm going to say it, and I mean, because somebody has to say it, and it's the wrong thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. He looks old.
He's moving on. His 80s.
I know.
Of course.
Someone who does not look old, or that old. John Delancey, it's Q, looking all Cialis ad ready. He's good to go.
The stash is good.
That's where I want to be, because I'm be honest with you, I think he looks better.
Yeah, he looks good.
Like,
it's the beard, right?
He just, it's everything.
I think, someone has been moisturizing is all I can say.
I'm like, that's how I want to grow old. I want to get better. Right? Like John, he looks cool. And he's also got the black on black going. Like, what's going on here?
They're at a funeral.
We're
quite clearly.
We don't want color in the future. We don't want a little splash.
He like tuned into that panel, like for Star Trek, that big panel day they had a couple of months ago from a boat. So perhaps it's just living a life of pure leisure leads to less aging.
I've noticed that everybody in this teaser has some kind of badge or brooch. I think they're just trying to sell more pins to us fans.
Big pin is in on this.
Yeah, big pin. And then we jump to we jump to what it looks like Starfleet Headquarters with Picard talking to a delegation. And if you look closer, I don't know how to zoom in on this, but Picard seems like there we go. Seems like this is a new uniform he's wearing. So
that's kind of hot.
It's either the dress uniform of the Starfleet uniforms we saw in season 1, or it's a completely different, alternative take on those uniforms. Because we didn't see a uniform like this with the flap over.
Yeah. Do we know what all the flags are? I saw Klingons. I saw.
Yeah, Marge says we should name those flags. I'm pretty sure I saw a Green Bay Packers flag in there. So I don't know what that's about. See?
Yeah, I can name the flags. Let me bring that up. From left to right, we have Klingon, Tellarite, Federation, Starfleet Command, Starfleet Academy, Vulcan, Bajor, and the Ferengi, which is notable because the Ferengi and Bajoran Ferenginar and Bajor are not in the Federation as far as we know.
See, and that makes a lot of sense because, I thought it was the Green Bay Packers and it turns out to be the Ferengi. It's like the same thing. So
the Tellarite totally looks like a soccer team flag.
Yeah.
There's very few good flags. I feel like there's a 99% invisible episode about flag design that I enjoy because flags are hard to design.
Actually, I think the Federation flag is actually kind of cool.
Next, we see Rafi and Elnor. Maybe they're on Free Cloud. This looks kind of Free Cloud-ish. But if you look closely, there seems to be like a dead body behind them.
Oh, wow. I mean, at first I really thought this was a screenshot from Farscape. So thanks for clearing that up, Mike.
Looks pretty Farscapey. All you need is a Muppet in the background.
Right?
Yeah.
Look, I really thought this was Farscape.
But this looks pretty exciting. Looks like a good action sequence with these two characters hanging out together. Also in distress. Everybody seems to be in distress, or there's some kind of alteration to the world that we know from Picard season 1. So definitely some timeline changes or alternative timeline thing happening.
It's funny
here
to me that like in the 80s we determined that neon lights were futuristic and nothing has changed in 40 years.
No. It's like we saw them in Blade Runner, and it was like, okay, it's just locked in.
Canon.
Neon lights.
Somebody just decided Blade Runner. That's a template.
Which is interesting because you don't even see that many neon lights now. So I don't know when they just suddenly become in vogue.
I wonder if Eleanor's trying to get Rafi out of there because she's had like a junkie relapse or something.
Anyway.
I think maybe she just killed this dude.
Oh,
I do like the idea of like if her hair is not as like big and voluptuous and amazing, that it's like a bad time for her versus, I don't know. It's like those small things where it's like there's changes in features to signify.
In the darker timeline, water pressure just sucks everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, and hello. We see Laris. And this is the only shot of Laris that we get in the trailer, but
She's very concerned.
Yeah, she looks really concerned. She's at the chateau. She's looking out maybe at Picard taking off, maybe wanting to go with him. Hopefully we do see her like more than like 2 or 3 episodes this season. We don't see Saban anywhere, but we see Laris. You guys excited to see Laris back?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest disappointments of the first season was just the lack of use of Laris. I mean, that was just a waste.
Outside of this show, like that you guys were already familiar with?
Nope.
I don't have any attachment to this character whatsoever. Like I don't care about her. I now know her name because you guys keep saying it, but otherwise I'm like, she was just like a guest actor for like the beginning of like, hey, I worked with.
She like kicked ass when all those people came into the chateau.
For me, I pay attention when you've got somebody who's not supposed to be a key player, but there's so much, for whatever reason, gravitas on a scene that you're drawn in, especially in a show where we were dying for, searching for, screaming for chemistry. She had it.
I don't remember her. I don't remember her or Saban. I guess they were in the first episode and that was it, right?
They were Picard's like Romulan servants who were protectors. Like they were 2 of the coolest characters in the entire season.
Yeah, they took up a bulk of screen time in the first episode. They were in about 2 or 3 episodes, but then when Picard went to space, they stayed on Earth. But the cool thing about Laris is that, and Saban as well, but especially Laris, was that they were revealed to be more than what they seemed, right? They were maybe part of the Tal Shiar or something like that, and they basically protected Picard and murdered a bunch of Zat Bosch agents. That came to kill him. And Laris turned out to be an excellent detective and helped him track down Soji in a really great scene. So, and also I'm a fan of Orla Brady. She was great in Fringe. She played Peter's mom and that, and was really, really cool. So sci-fi fans like Orla Brady. So
she's great, is what I meant to say. Love the character.
The Momulan, that's new.
Soji, also with a pin. Surprised Lars didn't have a pin. 2 pins, actually. One of them looks like the symbol of her and her twin that we saw in season 1. I don't know what this black one is, but unlike everyone else, Soji is wearing white.
And apparently shoulder pads are back in style.
Shoulder pads are back in style.
Very fierce.
She looks different, but
she looks pretty. She has like a really severe look to her.
It is, but I mean, I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either.
She's in Vegas.
Hey,
clearly, this is like an Ocean's 11 scene.
If this is potentially a darker timeline, this could be Daj. This could be the other one that was gold. Forgot her name. She was terrible.
Perhaps.
What do we got?
Kim Pine.
Kim
back.
I saw you, Mike.
Seriously staring at that camera.
That's a little creepy. I'm a back away from the screen.
The only shot we get of Kim Pine in this trailer looking more murdery than ever. So she's murdering more people. Rios.
Yeah, I was rewatching it and he like touches the badge. So it feels like he's aware perhaps that this is a different timeline.
Yeah, I think at the beginning we see Picard in distress, wondering what's happening. We see Rios looking at the badge, looking around his ship, noticing the changes that we're noticing. And as we go on with these photos, we're going to see more characters seemingly in distress or noticing that things are different. So yeah, it seems like the timeline has changed and our main characters are aware of it. Are they in their own pocket timelines? Are they in the same timeline? I don't know.
Maybe they're in the Terran timeline. I want that chair.
It's a good
chair. That's a dope gamer chair right there.
Right? That is a dope gamer chair.
Do you want those sweet gloves he's got on? The 3 fingers that are fingerless?
No, he's been hit by a smooth criminal, this guy.
Yeah, I don't think I need that, but like the chair though.
What happens if I click on here?
You gotta keep the pinky and ring finger warm, but the other 3, you need the tips for interacting with stuff probably.
So there is a close-up of his badge, which seems like a much larger Starfleet communication badge. And there seems to be, at first it looked like an upside-down cross, which, wow. But now it looks like a sword, right? It looks like the hilt of a sword. And in Star Trek lore, the other badge or insignia we see that has a sword on it, or the hilt of a sword, is the Terran timeline sword.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the upside down cross. I think it's part of Star Trek Judas Priest.
Yeah.
At some point, can we stick to one timeline, one universe?
Breaking the print directive.
I'm just saying, it feels like if this is a like I was joking earlier when I said Terran, but like how many Mirrorverse episodes per season are we gonna do?
Yeah, I don't think this is supposed to maybe recall the mirror universe to let us know, like, okay, things are dark. That's why things look mirror universe-y, but I don't think we're in the mirror universe.
I hope not.
Hope we're not. And if we are, maybe it's just one episode. Maybe this is just the first, like, clips from the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes they shot.
Listen,
that we're getting.
If we're going to be in the mirror universe, you better bring on Captain Killy. Otherwise, I don't care. Just saying.
And then we see everybody together, finally united. Well, not everybody. It's Picard and low water pressure Rafi and Eleanor and Girardi back here. Everyone's still wearing black for the most part, except for Girardi. And
the X-Men shot.
Picard is looking very Professor X-y.
You know, and Rafi's back there looking like Storm. Yep.
And then we get to the last scene, which again, like the big teaser trailer for season 1, ends with the reveal of 7 of 9. But the reveal this time is that she wakes up and she's missing her Borg implants.
Okay.
So definitely in a different timeline.
And she's wearing a wedding ring.
She is wearing a black engagement ring.
Yep. We're definitely in a weird Mirrorverse.
So, yeah. Q is putting them into another timeline, or he's changing things up. I mean, we've already seen in the last Q episode that we reviewed, the tapestry one, that he put Picard into a scenario where he changed the sequence of events and then saw a new alternate timeline that he could live in and experience. So this isn't beyond the realm of what Q can kind of play around with in his construct, right? And maybe that's what he's doing. He's doing some sort of experimentation with what if you and the Picard crew were living in some alternate divergent timeline, or is he like just straight up jumping between the multiverse? I don't know.
Yeah. This definitely has something to do with Q, because we hear Q in the voiceover say, "Welcome to the very end of the road not taken," which is very cute. This is Q saying, this is a different timeline, a different place that I placed you in, but it's the very end of it. So that means that maybe he's continuing his trial of humanity. I don't know, guys. Do you think we are in one new timeline? Do we think we're going to be jumping throughout time?
Well, I mean, at the end of the episode that we're about to discuss, the TNG finale, we have this sort of reveal that Q's talking about how the rest of the Q continuum didn't believe that Picard could successfully execute what he does in the finale, right? So it seems like there was that Q himself placed a big gamble on proving the merit and worth of Picard, and that might have been to some greater end game and some greater purpose that we're going to get closure on in this next season. Which, now that I'm glad that you kind of put me through this trial of seeing all these other Q episodes, because if that does pay off, that's going to be awesome.
That's a really good point. I think, Q definitely has something to do with this. And I think it would be great if the Picard writing staff went back and studied those Q episodes and decided, there's a lot of fruit left on the vine here in this Trial of Humanity arc. And we're gonna build upon that.
Would be
and
interesting.
We do see that Seven also notices that she has a new badge on her mantle. Another new badge. Everybody gets a badge.
And you get a badge, and you get a badge.
Yeah. This one also seems to have maybe it looks like a star, but it could also be like the hilt of a sword, and looks like it has a half or a quarter moon around it in the back. The red coloring reminds me of the Klingon, the Klingon logo. The red coloring also reminds me of the Terran Empire. Grant's raising his hand.
I have a theory. What if Q posits an alternate timeline where it isn't Starfleet that ultimately wins in the war between them and Klingons? It's the Klingons who win, and they unite everything. And this is the Klingon Federation badge that they have now accepted humans like 7 of 9 as a part of.
That could be interesting.
I like it, but Picard and Rios do have different badges.
Well, they're not in that.
That's a different timeline.
So everyone might be in their own pocket timeline or something.
I don't know.
If we look back at that scene with the delegation, the Klingon flag from left to right is first.
It's red and black, just like that pin, red, black, and white, and maybe a little bit of gold effects. And then it's got that little triangle thing, but maybe a fourth side makes itself known, and they have to make that triangle into a little bit more of a diamond shape.
I like it. But something that is throwing me off is they released a poster for the season on the same day, and it seems to depict, here it is, modern Los Angeles with the highways kind of twisting and turning to form the Starfleet logo. But this looks like if you were to zoom in on those cars, those are 21st century cars.
Whales? We going back and saving some whales?
Do we have any whales left in 2021?
There are no whales.
I mean, they very well could be. It could be that Q has to put everyone through their own individual trials. Some, maybe a group of them do get sent back in time to our modern day, and they go through their own kind of trial. But I think this design of this poster is fantastic. I love this idea of using the highways as these timelines that are crisscrossing, right? Like if they're using this sort of as a metaphor for crossing timelines in the continuum, as well as just a way to tether the Trek of the future to something contemporary. This is a really cool poster.